There is no formal sign welcoming you to Geddes, South Dakota. You know you're here when you see the faded sign on the town's grain elevator. Main Street is a quiet place. There are 11 holiday wreaths on the main drag wishing you a Merry Christmas. But Geddes has a Christmas wish of its own, centered around this white house on the south side of town.
This house was built in 1886.
Sharon Ackley is a longtime Geddes resident and member of the Charles Mix County Historical Restoration Society. This home was built 14 years before Geddes was officially incorporated as a town. The fact that this 130-year-old structure is still standing is amazing, but it's not why people here are so interested in saving it. It needs to last, they say, because of who lived here.
It's part of our heritage, our culture, history.
In 1988, the then owners of the home approached this man, Ron Dufik, and asked him if he had any desire to move the house from its former location 7 miles northwest of town into Geddes itself. They said there was a compelling reason to do so.
He said we got an old house out there that we should move in, Peter Nordbeck's boyhood home. I never knew who Peter Nordbeck was.
Ron quickly found out who Peter Nordbeck was, the 9th governor of the state of South Dakota. Nordbeck's family built this home when his father became the lead pastor at a nearby church.
Reverend Nordbeck was a good carpenter, as I've read, and he called all the parishioners together and they built the house.
That home was built while this area was still Dakota Territory, 3 years before South Dakota became a state.
It's just amazing that Peter Nordbeck lived here.
To understand why Geddes is rallying around this house, consider this. Peter Nordbeck developed state-backed hail insurance for South Dakota farmers. He commissioned studies in providing hydroelectric power to the state's rural communities. He founded Custer State Park. He oversaw the construction of the state's highway system. And on top of it all, he created the state's first hunting season for Chinese ringneck pheasants. Much of what Nordbeck did was seen as progressive when he was in office from 1917 through 1921. And many of his decisions still affect our daily lives.
Peter Nordbeck was a great, fantastic man.
For the last 28 years, work has been done to protect this house from time and the elements. But right now is an especially crucial time.
And there is still about $12,000 work left to be done in the upper level.
If the Charles Mix County Historical Restoration Society can raise that $12,000 in the next 25 days, they will receive an extra $3,000 from the South Dakota Community Foundation and complete the restoration work that needs to be done. If they can't raise that money in that amount of time, they will be set back by 2 to 3 years, at least, if not longer.
We're already behind. We had hoped to have it done by 2014.
In 1989, as part of South Dakota's centennial, Geddes gave this house lasting legacy status, meaning this one structure is what the community wants to be remembered for. Saving this house is their dream. Making sure it gets saved will be their legacy.
We have people stop every year just to see the Peter Nordbeck home.
So they have until December 31st to raise the $12,000 they need to move the home's remodeling project forward. Now, if you would like to donate, you can send it to Post Office Box 132, Geddes, South Dakota, 57342, and we'll have that information in our web story at KSFY.com.